Hello, everyone, and welcome to this amazing interview with the one and only Dr. Ingrid Vasiliu-Feltes. Did I say that right?
Yes, thank you. Don't worry. Ingrid is great.
Ingrid, I read your chapter and just love the discussion that it brings because, technology is so important in the digital era. And your chapter is called The Role of Diversity in the Digital Era. Can you firstly, sorry, just tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you do, and then we'll get to talk about the conversation and why diversity is important.
Well, thank you again for inviting me, and thank you for all your important contributions to help us increase awareness about this book and engage across the world to hopefully inspire other girls and young women. That's at least my goal.
Yes.
So regarding the chapter, I thought a long time what I could bring to this book, given that we have so many women trailblazers who are experts in the field and definitely have been engaged in the diversity ecosystem for numerous years. So I thought I would share a different lens, and that is related to diversity from a technology perspective, industry perspective, and how you approach uh, the gender equity gap. So in the chapter, you'll see areas of focus that actually reflect my career experience very much. So I highlight the fact that you have to focus on future skills. If you want to, in my belief and in my experience, become someone that everybody seeks guidance from, or that everybody wants to have on their team, or that everybody accepts no matter what their gender is or their age, for instance. So then you focus on the skills that you think are going to be 4, 6, 10 years ahead. And if you become really good at those type of future readiness skills, then when everybody is finally at that stage, you're the only one that has that expertise, and you don't have to fight, in quotes, for that position. So for example, that has worked very nicely with AI, blockchain, nanotechnology, telehealth, quantum computing. It's been a pattern. The other element that I highlight in the book is that you also must focus on ethics. That's the one area that I do believe can either bring everybody together, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what type of role you have in an organization, no matter what cultural background you have, no matter what continent you're from, no matter what age you have. People, if they want to do the right thing, are going to agree that ethics is an important component of whatever that company has to do, right? And it doesn't matter also if you're in the not-for-profit arena or commercial arena or whatever entity you want, government, academia, no matter what. Now, if someone does not care about ethics, you shouldn't want to be with them anyway. So it's a perfect fit, in my opinion. That's why I talk in the book about ethical leadership. And that does not mean you always have to be CEO. When I talk about ethical leadership, I highlight the fact that all of us have to contribute to that, right? Ethical leadership is also a culture of ethics. Every single human in that organization, including strategic partners, vendors, anybody that's just a one-time consultant, has to be part of that ethical fabric. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And then the third one also mirrors my expertise, and I talk a lot about how deploying a variety of management skills can also get you to not only engage with global stakeholders, but also potentially get into the boardroom or C-suite. And again, one of the areas there that I emphasize is that in this digital era, as a leader, it's not enough anymore to have the skills that we all used to have in the past few decades. So it used to be enough that you are an expert in your field. It used to be enough that you are ethical. It used to be enough that you worked hard. It used to be enough that you cared about your team. Well, now you also need to have this additional layer of digital expertise, because every company has become a technology company. It's not like before where you could say, well, that's for the tech team. Well, that doesn't exist in my experience anymore. technology now is embedded into the fabric of every single company, if you like it or not. So I speak a lot about the fact that by recalibrating or disrupting or reshaping or reconfiguring, no matter what word we want to use that starts with re, our own mindset and our own leadership style and our own comfort zone and our own risk appetite and our own management style, whatever used to work, we'll have to mix it up now with other types of management skills that are more amenable to this digital era. So when I talk about diversity, I talk about all these things, not just gender diversity. I talk about cultural diversity, age diversity, technology diversity, a different way of management styles, diversity in management styles, diversity in the way you can think about a company as a living, breathing organism. I like to sometimes say that because that indicates to everyone that you can't be static, otherwise you die. So I like to sometimes associate the organization, whatever it is, if it's a not for profit or a for profit, to a living, breathing organism and emphasize to everyone that it's not a shame to continuously reinvent yourself and rejuvenate yourself and learn new things. That's another diversity aspect that I can share with you. You asked me about my background. I used to do 20 years in highly traditional environments, legacy organizations, and I had only the strictest jobs, such as compliance, research, everything where you had to be super disciplined, super accurate, had a lot of responsibility, and you couldn't innovate too much because the risk margin was this much. And then I realized that technology can help us do all those things. As I learned more about deep tech, I realized the full potential. I mean, I always knew that it had transformative powers, but I realized that by embedding these emerging and frontier technologies into the very fabric of whatever we're doing at any layer in the organization, you can really reconfigure the paradigm in the organization. So not only reconfigure your own leadership style and your own management style, but you can also completely help the organization engage in that whatever we call business transformation or digital transformation. So in a nutshell, the chapter in a way reflects the three Venn diagrams that I've experienced in my career. I've always been involved in science, innovation, research, in a highly regulated industry and in highly regulated roles. But then I have another area of interest which revolves around innovation, entrepreneurship, ecosystem, and social impact, and volunteering for a lot of not-for-profit organizations always. And then that third layer, which my close friends and collaborators know I'm very passionate about, is the ethics component. And that's the saga. Now, I wanted to give you the opportunity to also ask me some questions. I'm sure you have a few.
Oh, I just could listen to that all day. All of my questions are answered, Ingrid, honest to goodness. But I love the whole thinking, because I'm very values aligned. And if you align your purpose with your values, there's so much success to be had in that. And because you remain driven, but to be futuristic in your approach to everything, don't become complacent, because everything is always ever evolving. And if you become stagnant in that, and just get into a place where you kind of stop, you'll be left there these days, because you have to be innovative in your thinking and get excited about it. It excites me, the possibilities that we have now. And like you talked about, leadership, and it being across the board. We're all leaders, no matter what level we are in any organization or even age. Everyone's a leader and can have an impact where you're at. And that's the progressive, that's the new inspired leadership era, isn't it, Ingrid?
Absolutely, absolutely. And with the young generations coming up, like Gen Alpha is knocking on our door. I think you see younger and younger ages that are involved in the creator economy, that are involved in the marketplaces. They have sometimes, honestly, the best ideas, and then they need us just to execute. So the inverse than it used to be, right? It used to be that the younger generation has to execute, and we gave the ideas and the pathway. Well, I see the opposite now, and cross-disciplinary as well as cross-generational teams, I think, are the future more than ever, because now we have that global hybrid workforce where it truly is possible, right? We used to talk about it before, and yes, it was possible in your little geographic physical circle, but now we have the whole world at our fingertips. So I find it fascinating as well.
Yeah, it's so exciting. And that's the thing, if you are innovative in your approach and you embrace and collaborate with like the whole AI and like even ChatGPT coming through, I'm an author and ChatGPT coming in, you're going, wow, this is kind of, all the AI is just fascinating. And I think if we embrace it and not fear it, and the growth potential is huge, I believe.
Absolutely. And that's a great example for our audience to make it very concrete. I used to talk about AI and took the time to get an additional certification in AI in 2016 when I was at the height of my other career. I didn't need to get any certification. I was doing extremely well. And that's when I also got my blockchain certification and my financial management certification. And people didn't understand, why would you do that? You're at the height of your other career. Why would you do something that no one cares about? And I answered, because it's interesting to me. Second, because I do believe it will be the future. And guess what's happening now? Everybody's talking about blockchain and AI, right? It's the same concept. But at that time, talking about diversity of acceptance, it was very difficult because a lot of people do not understand if you want to dedicate yourself to something new when you're doing very well at that other career that you're having. It's not always welcome.
Well, it takes courage to do that, doesn't it, Ingrid? But it just goes to show that you're not complacent, staying in the one place, and that's the thing, future focus. That's what it's all about. That's a great example of that, is, no matter how high you get, to be future focused and take action when you're called to it, like you were called. And, it's served you now, but is also impacted in the future of many people around you.
Exactly. And I keep telling that to the younger men and women that I mentor, because you can't wait until you really need something. It takes 2-3 years to build up a career or expertise, right? So even if you don't want it as a career, you can't just learn everything overnight. It takes a while to teach yourself whatever you need to teach yourself, get the certification, but then also get that industry experience. So if you need it because someone told you to get that certification, it's too late, because you needed to get that 2-3 years earlier. So
Yeah, you need the
absolutely.
foresight.
Yes.
Oh, well, I could talk to you all day, Ingrid, but alas, we cannot. Guys, if you want to read Dr. Ingrid's chapter in Lady Diversity Power, it's a really good one, fascinating, gets the thoughts seeds growing. And you can get this book anywhere in the world. If you go to www.kmdbooks.com/Lady Diversity Power, all of the links are there, and you can go and check out all the interviews as well from all the other amazing co-authors. Ingrid, thank you so much. We really enjoy that interview, and thank you for joining me and showing up for Lady Diversity Power.
Likewise, thank you for inviting me, and congratulations to all the co-authors for their achievement. Thank you.
Thank you, Ingrid.